What's happening, YouTube? I have a brand new vlog talking about our internet legend of a locale that's still in prison, right? I thought I promised I would not do no more Chris Chan videos, but so what has happened over the last couple of months since I last did a vlog talking about the dude? Okay, so Chris Chan, last we discussed, we talked about him being arrested for his incest with his mother, Barbara. Lately, I heard about him and his written letters, which I don't want to delve into because like most of it is just all nonsense. Now that it's close to being about a year since Chris was last in public before the arrest for what he did to Barbara, I do want to talk about what has happened to him recently in the last 2 days this week. For those who are unaware, Chris Chan was sent to a mental health facility, excuse me, because, you know, he, during the first couple of these last 8 months of him being in jail at first before he was committed to a mental facility, he should have stayed in a mental asylum for a really long time because, like, man, this dude, you know, Chris Chan would never shut up talking about that dimensional merge. He just wouldn't, you know, shut up talking about it. And so he was in a mental facility for a while, but then he was let go, and recently this week he's being put back into that prison again. And another thing I've started to notice when following the updates of him coming out of the mental asylum, if you find a photo of Chris Chan recent, yeah, Chris still has that long hair, thinking he's still a woman and stuff of a like. His body had completely transformed. In his recent mugshot photo, you can see that Chris had lost a lot of weight, or so it seems, because, you know, usually when we think Chris Chan would usually still have that fat body of his. He always, you know, because, you know, one of the reasons why I think why he slimmed down, because I think after staying in prison and away from the internet, I think keeping Chris at bay away from the internet was a good thing for us, because all of his antics that he had done over the last 15 years in total, 14 and a half years in total on YouTube, he had been always on the internet interacting with trolls and also fake online girlfriends and, you know, all those type of people on the internet, because he never did stop interacting with such folk. Because that was probably why Chris Chan was always getting in trouble all the time, and why he was having these mental health problems. I just think that it was for the best. He had to get the heck off the internet. It was for his own good, and like what many of us have been saying, you know, now hearing that Chris was in a mental hospital, he should have been in a mental health facility even back when Chris was going stir crazy over the whole blue-armed Sonic thing. And, you know, of course, since Sonic the Hedgehog 2 just came out last month, well, he ain't gonna likely get out of jail anytime to see that. But by the time, if Chris does get out of prison after he had his 1 year incarceration, you know that he'll go and find out that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out, but it was in theaters while he was already still in jail. So he was, you know, when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray in the next few months, but he'll likely not want to see it because, you know, Chris is disdain about the blue-armed Sonic thing since 2014, knowing that the movie incarnation of Sonic the Hedgehog still has the blue arms. And then also, you know, he'll probably still spurg about Hasbro not continuing G4, aka Friendship is Magic of MLP, knowing that the fact Hasbro had long moved on, you know, from that incarnation of My Little Pony, which began that brony phenomena a decade ago. But Chris Chan needs to accept change because he's just going total tard about it, which, you know, I don't understand why he just won't accept some changes like that. But we started seeing a major change with his physical appearance, but he still has that ugly, nasty, ugly face of his, but his body has changed. He lost a lot of weight because I think that prison food really kicked in all that fat, and he was probably complaining about, oh, the stress, you know, oh God, this prison food giving me stress. Yeah, I bet you it was, because he always talked about some things be giving him stress like a child, and it's just not adult. It's just so childish of Chris Chan. And I bet you in the time the intermediate time he spent in that mental health facility last month, they probably should have gotten a diagnosis for him about how he has that mentality of a child, now that he's middle age now, over 40. Personally, they probably did a diagnosis about his mental health condition because he was having these senses of delusions. But when we do get his court hearing in the next, now 2 months, because we're getting close to July, close to 2 days at the end of the month of July this year, 1 year after he was let go. 1 year after he was incarcerated and arrested for incest with his mother, Barbara. Of all things, Chris Chan, of all things he did in 2021, did Chris really had to do that with his own mother? Now, if it was if he went for an older woman, not his mother, okay, that's different, because I understand, Chris had been most of us have been still at home in the comfort of our own homes and stuff because COVID is still going on. So that's probably why Chris spent most of the pandemic with his mom, and of course, Chris kept going on talking about that dimensional merge and stuff as usual. And I don't know why would he do the incest, thinking that making out with his own demented mother would cure her dementia. No, that's not going to work. And also, that's sick for him to do that, because I was already disgusted in my own gut when I heard all of that, but I just wish that he never did do that. But anyway, speaking of Chris Chan, Super Slim Edition, hence the name of the vlog of tonight, whenever you're watching this. If you look at his recent mugshot, his body has slimmed a lot. I mean, we don't even know what he physically looks like. We don't know what Chris physically looks like now, but even though he's still got that ugly, double chin and all that, looking like even when I look at Chris Chan at times, especially that one photo when Chris was still in the Christine gimmick with the, if you look at that one image where Chris had that blue sweater vest or whatever it was, whenever I look at Chris Chan now, like, especially with that long hair, he just looks like a mentally handicapped but schizophrenic version of Bill Murray. And especially that one photo I keep talking about. If you look up Chris Chan's photos as Christine Weston Chandler, you know what I was talking about. And it's just, every time I even look at him, he looks more like Bill Murray if he was mentally handicapped or mentally ill. Even though I personally, I don't like Bill Murray personally. I don't care if he was in Ghostbusters or anything great, okay? But Chris had lost a lot of weight because, again, I've discussed the last vlog that one of the reasons why Chris was so overweight was because we should know about his health condition, even what Crack Rack had pointed out in a video about his health condition. I believe, because I saw Crack Rack's video. I hope Crack Rack, if you're out there, I hope you know what I was talking about, because I saw your video talking about his health and his condition, why he was eating fast food and frozen dinners. Because a lot of the time, he was always eating McDonald's and TV dinners, because Chris could not cook. Because, again, before the house fire in 2014, Chris was always eating he would always go out to McDonald's, get whatever Big Mac, quarter pounders, or whatever he gets at McDonald's. And personally, eating fast food all the time is unhealthy, especially McDonald's. And I'm not, I know if once I get to McDonald's, I'm not sponsoring McDonald's or anything, but and I don't want to sing the jingle that goes to "I'm loving it," so don't get me even started. That's probably why all those years eating McDonald's and I don't even want to sing it. But and frozen dinners like Hungry Man's, Lean Cuisines, and all of them. But still, it was for the best. He'd rather eat some real food. Even that prison food. Even you may not like prison food, Chris, but it was for your own good, away from eating all that fast food and stuff. You think fast food is going to make you, and thinking all that fat is going to make you invincible and all that. No. You should have ate healthier than that. Should have been on a diet years ago. No offense. I just couldn't figure it out, as to why I'm surprised by his new look, being slimmer. And you can tell, I couldn't even get a good glimpse of his face now, where Chris, since he's been in prison and now a mental facility and back in prison again, you can tell his face is bad for wear right now, even if for a 40-year-old. And knowing, look at me, knowing the fact I got some wrinkles, knowing I'm getting close to being 4 months away from turning 30 myself. But, man, I just cannot believe Chris Chan just looked really horrible for wear. I guess maybe the real world is finally sunk in, and those mental health therapists must have told him about the dimensional merge and Sonichu and him being Jesus Christ and all that. Because when you go around, this is why people with mental illness, like I know I've came across people like that in the streets at times when I'm out walking around for jogs and stuff, and I know, but I'll never forget this one time I had to deal with a homeless woman who called me OJ, and when in fact I told her I'm not OJ, or some other mentally ill homeless person who, but we just don't know. Speaking of homelessness, we don't even know if Chris does get out, if he ever does get out, but knowing the fact the house is gone, Barbara is gone, all his toys, video games, Lego sets, amiibos and all that stuff, Sonichu comics and stuff are gone. All the clothes, including his iconic classic sweater with the red and blue that he always wore around as his titular Chris Chan, Sonichu, whatever, is gone. His pets are gone. Some of them are likely dead at this point. So I think at this rate, Chris is likely going to be homeless. I don't think anyone's going to take him in. He's going to have to figure out something. I don't know if assistant living will work for him. He'll likely just be in jail for the rest of his days. I don't know if there's any chances he'll get back on YouTube. I think it's for the best. 14 years with Chris Chan and his insanity and all that stuff was enough. Because it was just enough. I feel like all my times I've watched videos about Chris Chan by everyone, even watching Gino Samuel's documentary, and even, well, again, when I get the Dylan Thomas in a future vlog and such later, and talk about him and how he became a Chris Chan his damn self, and all the other locales that have emerged after Chris Chan's absence. You should tell that once he got arrested for what he did to his mom, it should have been the end of the Chris Chan story, as we all knew it. Once Chris Chan was put in prison for this long, then we start seeing more locales emerge, like Dylan Thomas. So I just hope when we get to July in the next 2 months, and by the time I'm in the middle of doing my personal thing, I hope eventually I'll get an update around like the first week of August if Chris actually finally got a sentence on July the 26th. But if he doesn't, then you know what? There's going to likely be another continuance, to the point court system in Virginia are going to get sick of the continuances, because is Barbara not going to come to prison, not come to court and explain why she and Chris did what they did together last summer? Not even the people who were involved in that fiasco, like Isabella Janke or anybody. But again, we'll find out come July. So yeah, so we're going to have to wait till then.